Hi everyone, and welcome to our Weymouth Sealife and Santa Experience video. So we arrived at Weymouth Sealife Centre and we just had a good look around, and what you can see when you walk in is like palm trees and all the buildings and paths and where to go. So Alyssa led the way and we headed off across the bridge to one of the first animal rooms, and it was one of the big fish rooms. So this is all video footage from one of the first rooms that we went in, and what's great is you'll see around the room there's these touchscreen little computers at the kids' heights, and they can tap them and they can operate them, and there's these lovely dome walls like this one which are giant bubbles, so it actually makes you feel like you're in there. And then on the floor there were some rays and some big fish, and there's Alyssa having a go at one of the touch screens. It's great because they can touch them to get information up about all the different animals that they're looking at, and it all looks like a sunken ship. And this was a really great one, had a tunnel underneath and you could pop your head up, and there's a crusty crustacean, and you could pop your head up and have a look, and it felt like you were actually inside the fish tank, which was really cool. And then we went over to the rainforest building, and you walk in and there's obviously this ambientic sounds, and it makes you feel like you're actually in the rainforest, which was pretty cool. And it's all dark, and as you can see twinkly lights on the ceiling as well, and it's all done in greens and things, so it's really good. What I love is that there's all these globes and domes at the kids' height, which is perfect. There's these giant fish as well. Nana taking pictures, and then Alyssa led the way and we headed over, after having a look at all the ducks in the river, headed over to the nursery building. And these were some really weird looking seahorses that we found that were nothing like I'd ever seen before. And then there were some like these ones here that were literally just straight up and straight down. It was so random, and they were in the tank with these spiky anemones. One of our favourite places there is the rock pool section, where you can actually stroke starfish, which we did, and Alyssa did as well. She was very brave, and yeah, it's a great section, this one. And then we headed over to the penguins, which we love doing because there's one called Rowan, like cousin Rowan. This dude was showing off and decided to squawk for us very, very loudly, which Alyssa thought was hilarious. And then she decided to try and copy them whilst they were doing their waddling around, which she thought was dancing. As you can see, it was a lovely sunny day, but it was really cold, but luckily we were always in and out of buildings, so that helped. In the summer, they've actually got these little things you put £1 in. You can drive a boat around the little pond in front. The pond was actually frozen over, so we couldn't drive anything today, but Alyssa really did enjoy driving the steering wheel though. Then we were going to go into the turtle sanctuary, which has this gorgeous giant turtle model over the doorway, which was really cool. And there were lots of turtles in there to have a look at. They had weird feet, as you can see, and these ones had really long necks, and I'm trying to get Alyssa that one was, which she thought was quite funny. And look at this one, this is like a long necked one. It was so weird. And then you've got this really cool blue tunnel that you walk down to go and get to the dome tunnel, the tank tunnel, which was really cool, where we saw these guys are two sharks that stayed asleep the entire time we were there. We even went back again and they were still asleep, but they're in a tank with some really old giant turtles and things. But then our favourite bit was we had to go and see the seals, and they were just amazing. As soon as we arrived, they came up to the surface and started swimming around, and they were trying to get our attention. So we decided to go downstairs and see them, because you can actually see them under the water, and they're just gorgeous. They're so cute. As you can see here, they're still swimming above the surface and trying to get our attention. I don't know if they thought we had fish maybe, but they enjoyed showing off. So yeah, so we took a few pictures out here. Alyssa loved it, but I knew she'd want to see them under the water, so this bit's great. So we went under the water, and you've got these two little domes you can sit in. There's actually a bubble button you can press to get bubbles to get their attention. We did not need that. They were so ready to show off for us. It was great because we kind of played tickle tummy with them for about 20 minutes. So Alyssa would stand at the glass like that, and she'd rub her hand over the glass, and there we go, and they'd come and dive in front of her, and she was so ecstatic, and they'd dance for her, and we'd pretend to rub their tummies, and she literally loved it. We then went for a hot chocolate break in the Costa Cafe and let Alyssa play in the playground, and then we found loads of Nemos. So Nemo's brothers and sisters did live. Happy ending. And then we found these very, very cool jellyfish, which were lit by different coloured neon lights. And Alyssa really liked this sort of sea anemone sponge thing, which was so weird but very cool. And then we discovered that Nemo and Dory are together again. We thought it was very cool and very funny to find that they were both in the same tank. And then finally we went over to see the otters, who, like the seals, went absolutely crazy when they saw us, and loved running around and playing for us, and we were kind of playing hide and seek with them, which they thought was brilliant. Then we went to find Santa. It's great. You walk down this little path here, and you've got the stable to your right hand side where Nonna and Alyssa were already waiting, and there's lots of hay bales inside, and it's all decorated with twinkle lights and stockings and different things. What's really good is there's a crate up the back there on the left, and it's got lots of thick woolly blankets. So if you go and visit and you're getting a bit cold, you're actually invited to sit on the hay bale and take one of the big thick woolly blankets out of the box and wrap yourself up. This was a lovely elf who came to entertain Alyssa whilst we were waiting for Santa, who we did spot with another naughty elf through the bushes. So you get to walk with your elf across this bridge here, which obviously Alyssa had to touch the life buoys with. So you get all the way to the end where you're greeted by the other elf, and you have to walk through this little forest of trees first, and they ask you, your child, to make a wish, and they blow their wish away, and the second the child blows their wish away, snow shoots through the sky, and your child's wish actually makes it snow, which was one of the most magical things I've ever seen. We went inside, and it was a beautifully decorated cabin with a real log fire, and we got to meet Father Christmas, who I have to say is one of the best Father Christmases I've ever met. Like, think Miracle on 34th Street. And we had to get, obviously, all of our pictures too. It was an absolutely brilliant experience at Sealife Centre, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world. A definite Merry Christmas moment.